Okay, has anybody noticed that Zap changed their image portfolio page
Yes, I haven't looked at it.
just
mean,
in the last, since yesterday?
no, I didn't even look at it yet.
They removed all the booth images and put them in a separate portfolio. So you have the art images and
You
the
must
booth
be
images.
good luck.
And they moved the buttons around to upload the image. It was always in the center of the page at the top. They moved it over to the left, and now the instructions are in the center of the page, the link.
Oh,
And that's frustrating.
yeah. Hmm.
Bonnie, do you hear what I said?
No, I
Yeah.
just got on.
Zap changed their portfolio page for the artist just since yesterday.
Okay,
They removed all the booth images and put them in a separate portfolio. So you have to go up to the top and decide whether you want artwork images or booth images. And they moved the upload button from the center of the page to the left of the page, that's more of a pain in the ass. Because I'm uploading almost every other day for people.
Oh, wow.
so does that mean that a show has to,
Nothing to do with the show.
oh, it's just the artists themselves?
Yeah,
Well, the only thing it might do is when you're redoing your slides, you have to erase the booth slide first, and maybe you won't have to erase the booth slide, and you'll just be able to rework
I don't know.
maybe you could do it separately.
I don't know. Now, Juried Art Services made a change recently. The images are too big for you to actually see more than 4 images on the screen at one time. And I can't get hold of Mary Stroh. I'm trying to call her. Because now you can't decide which images you want to put together in your application because you don't see enough of them.
Just email her.
They asked me to beta test it, but they never followed up. When I had a problem, nobody ever contacted me. So I've emailed them before about stuff, and they've never gotten back to me.
Wow.
I mean, I can call Paul. He answers his phone, but he's not, he doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. He wants it to run on its own and make him money.
Yeah. Well, if Mary's not answering your phone calls, I would email her. I think she's a little overwhelmed. She's got a lot going on.
Well, isn't she connected with Art Fair Insiders also now?
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know what for. Art Fair Insiders has gone to hell with the new format of Ning.
Oh,
There's nothing.
I didn't know they'd changed.
Oh, it's a major change. Now there's no more preview of a blog on the blog page. It's the entire blog. So you have to scroll down forever to go to the next blog. And in the forums, there's no more, even though there were previously grouped categories, it's impossible to get to now.
Didn't that happen before Connie retired?
Yeah,
Just before she retired, I think.
right.
That might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, oh, what a mess.
It might have been, but this is what happens when a non-tech person tries to run a tech site.
Her son was supposed to be doing that for her.
Except that her son Scott.
Yeah,
don't-
I talked to Connie about it. She spoke to Scott. There's nothing they could do about it.
I was going to say, you don't get any more techie than Scott. I mean, he's written several books on it all, and
Yeah.
he's a renowned expert in the field.
Yeah.
So
Aren't we all? Depending on the
no,
field.
but he is.
Not that field.
I can go across the road and I'd be outstanding in somebody else's field.
There you go.
Along with the cows and chickens.
Actually, I had to call my neighbor because my neighbor's cow is in my backyard.
Oh, I love it.
Actually, it's a calf. One of their two calves managed to climb the fence and was in my backyard.
That's cute.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, if you like flies, thing was covered in flies.
Oh,
And it left a present too.
well, I would expect
Cows will do
that.
At least he didn't get in the
Fertilizer.
house.
Hey, Oscar.
Yeah.
Just for you, I think it's next week is the show directors conference call. And I set up some poll questions for them. Do you want to see exactly what my booth is going to look like at your show? Do you want to see what my booth will look like including the flip bins and all that?
Yes, please.
Well, we're gonna
Do
say
you
yes
want
to
to
that.
see my booth
Doorway.
all cleaned up and with no flip bins and, all that stuff gone? Or do you want a totally sanitized booth that is absolutely gorgeous, but doesn't look anything like I'm gonna look at your show?
Well, but Bonnie, you're giving them
Kind of
loaded
around that corner there.
questions. What
Well,
you
I'm
do-
gonna put
if
it
you
a
have
little better than,
doorway- If you have a doorway in the back of the booth, do you want that to show in your booth picture?
okay, I'll add that one in.
I mean, that's the only important one. Everybody knows you need to have a bin there if you have a bin at the show.
Listen,
Well,
have we
you've
gotten that
told
weird?
tons of people to take them out.
Wait a minute. Have we gotten that obnoxiously weird that a doorway is important? It's
Bonnie,
pathetic. It has
Bonnie.
nothing to do with anything.
That's right.
God, if I had known
Yes,
that, I never would have started this in the first place. Excuse me one second. I can hear, so.
Let's curse it, Barry.
No, Bonnie, honestly,
Barney,
that's
are you ever in a good mood?
because I
Ooh.
thought, what? I thought
Barry?
you
I'm here.
group and apparently everybody was saying that I need to take the bin out.
No, that's wrong.
So,
Any
and
show director will tell you you need to have the bin there if you're gonna have it at the show.
yeah, I agree with you, and that's what I wanted to put the bin in there. So I got another email similar to the one that I showed you today, and the jury form that I got the bin. I can clean that one up, but the bin will be in the front, it will be in the back one.
Okay, but okay. I have a better solution for you.
Tell me.
Get one of those portfolio bins that are just like an X thing that opens up and put it in the front with a bunch of your unframed pieces in it. Just for the picture.
No,
Why? She can
not
have a
just
different
for the
bin.
picture.
He can have a different bin.
Larry, I'm so tired of you promoting basically cheating.
That's not cheating.
It is. You're
No, it's
telling him to
not.
put one thing in
Bonnie,
the picture and
Bonnie,
something
everything's-
different
hey.
at the show.
Bonnie, I love you, but I have to disagree with you. Whatever it takes to get in the shows is good.
No, God damn
Yes.
it. I'm so tired of people not, yeah.
Try Cherry Creek. Try the shows that really matter. It's really important. The only thing that's important is getting in so that you can make more money than at any 3 shows.
I
It's
think Bonnie
important.
gave up.
She didn't leave, did she? Did she leave?
I
Yeah,
don't know whether it was on purpose or not, Barry, but she's not here.
Don't leave. Come on.
She can't hear you. She's not here.
I know. I'm saying it for the benefit of everybody.
You can pick on
Hey,
me
Larry,
because I somewhat agree with Bonnie.
I used to. Hey,
No,
Larry, listen, I used to, but we stopped doing slides. As soon as she went online, it all changed. it's called Photoshop. You can do anything. Hey, Larry, do you have a picture of my booth shot there?
I took out the Starbucks cup.
I know. The Starbucks cup and the bins that were sticking out in the back. You did a great job.
You know, I just want to know what they want for sure overall. I don't,
There is no for sure because every show is different.
Yeah, I agree.
Bonnie obviously has her own feelings about shows that she runs or juries.
So that's the same thing because I know the Fort Worth in St. Louis, they want your booth to be exactly how it's going to be at the show. They want the real booth. They don't want a fake. But those are the only two shows that I know for sure. And those are the only two shows that really matters to me. After that.
Well, then for those shows, take your picture at a show.
Okay.
It's interesting because I've always believed that. The picture shouldn't be set up. It should be at your booth, at your show. Now, taking out little things that Larry did, that's not cheating. It's just I was just too lazy to move the stuff out of the way. That's all. I just took it with my cell phone, the picture,
No, it's just like right now people are saying that I should not use the French wall, but I always use the French wall at the show. Because I don't have no choice, and my pieces are 40 by 60, 30 by 45 now. I don't have nothing small. If I put 3 walls, I basically might just have 3 40 by 60, and that's it. And the booth, and that's not realistic,
See,
you can't display much.
Why does it matter if you have one bin or another bin at the show?
It doesn't. And nobody's going to notice that.
Well, I think part of Oscar's problem is the bin that he actually uses is a cabinet with storage underneath.
But I know other people that do that too.
It doesn't look like a bin.
Is there something wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
As a 300 artist, they always criticize the bin.
What do they know?
You're asking the wrong artist.
Yeah, and then I got a lot of people asking me, can I make one for them?
Yeah, I mean, basically what you should do is just turn it so you don't see the handles on the side.
Yeah.
Or Photoshop out the handles.
That's what I'm going to do. I was going to do that, but I didn't like that image that I took. Even the last one that I did, if I shoot it again, I'm going to try to show more in the back wall.
I don't like hiding the bin behind your French wall. That doesn't make sense.
I know.
I mean, that's like going back to the Les Slesnik school. What you can't see is hiding buy sell.
That was a nightmare, having Les whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Being the arbiter of whatever. Arbiter of truth.
This is why we're in this space today.
I thought it's because we have no friends because all we do is work. So this is the only way we can get together with anybody.
That's true.
We party every other Tuesday night.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's that?
We do we do a Zoom every other Tuesday night. It's more of a party atmosphere, right, Larry?
Right.
Does that involve alcohol? Is everybody drinking?
Usually.
Well, Parker for sure.
Parker's sitting there smoking a big old tree trunk and whiskey in his hand.
Jim Parker?
Yeah.
Smoking a doobie and
cigar.
Drinking whiskey. Oh, a cigar.
Big old cigar sitting on the porch of his dude ranch.
My God.
I'll send you a link next week, Barry.
Okay.
Send one to me also, please.
Okay.
Now, no Oscar.
Hey, Or I know where you live. Don't forget that.
I know your cats.
Hey, did
We all
Sally,
know his cats.
did Sally just have a knee replacement or something?
Yeah. She talked about it last week.
Okay, see, I don't think I was there last week. I've been so busy lately. I've been falling asleep as early as I ever have been.
Oh, me too.
I think it was just
Hey, Larry,
mouse. Go ahead.
Larry, can you call Bonnie?
What?
And can you call Bonnie and trying to get her
I
to come
can, but she probably won't answer her phone.
back?
I'll try.
Do you
It
think
wasn't personal. What? I don't know why she got upset.
Bonnie Blandford. Okay, I'm giving her a call.
Okay.
You want
And
me to
put it on speaker so we
Yeah.
yeah, so and tell her we're all listening.
She's going to get mad at you.
Tell her we didn't mean to upset her.
She's not going to answer. I'll just leave a message.
So what is your next show, Barry?
I'm just getting the
Nashville.
voicemail.
No, I'm sorry. Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh boy, good luck.
St. James Court.
Good luck.
I do all right.
God bless you.
And where's your next?
Bonnie, I'm sorry. Everybody here wants you to come back. All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Oscar, is that a bottle of wine behind you?
Water. Water.
No,
Okay, I just
behind
left
you.
Bonnie a message. Now, if I message her on Facebook, she'll get it right away.
Oscar, where's your next show?
Milwaukee this weekend. Two more and 10 April.
Anybody doing St. Louis or Kansas City?
I wish.
Apparently, this is a group of I include myself in this, a group of second-rate artists that can't get into a
Right,
decent show.
exactly.
I'm doing Autumn and Art here in Wichita in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I did a really eye-opening show 10 days ago.
Which one?
I did a local non-juried show. Booth fee with electricity was $60.
Hey, that's my kind of show.
It was interesting.
Why?
You
Is
know,
that positive or negative?
it was redneck heaven.
Yeah.
It was I was next to the booth on next to me was giving away religious books.
That's scary.
I was across from a Hispanic woman selling "Let's Go Brandon" t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh God. That's pathetic.
And then on the other side of me was a very nice couple selling barbecue sauce, which fit in fine. But on the other side of them was a triple booth of a guy selling knives.
No red hats.
Those were elsewhere at this event. Yeah, the guy with the knives had knives, brass knuckle, steel brass knuckles. He told me that I thought brass knuckles were illegal. He said, well, the only thing that is illegal are actual brass knuckles. He said, if they're made out of something other than brass, then they're legal. Until you use them on somebody, then it becomes a felony.
Great.
You can have them.
And then I don't know what they're used for. I think there's something to do with motorcycles, but he had these braided paracord, like a leash that was anywhere from 2 to 4 feet long with a pool ball on the end. And I imagine if you swung that thing around a couple times and smacked somebody with it, you'd probably kill them.
It's like a sock full of rocks.
Yeah. Or they
Yeah.
need dental work.
But yeah, there was lots of people selling kids carnival toys and all sorts of fun stuff there.
So you doing it again, huh?
Yeah. Well, let's see. My booth cost $80 and my booth cost $60 and I made $80 total sales. So no, I don't think I'll be
I
going
thought
back
you were going to
anytime.
say you cleaned up. I
No.
thought you were going to tell us you cleaned.
My guess is my cheap frame prints were probably more expensive than almost anything else there.
Yeah. So you lost $100.
No, I made 20.
Yes. First of all, the cost of producing your work, the cost of gas, you ate, although I guess food wouldn't count because you have to eat anyway. What else? Your time.
If I don't figure my time, I figure I lost maybe $5 or $10. And that includes my food.
Wow. Wow.
So it's a local festival. You know, every small town in Kansas has their own little yearly festival. This was it. And I had, I've lived here for 25 years. I'd never done it. Thought, well, it's $60,
Yeah. What could you lose, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
I tried one at a church 1.5 miles from my house. And the booth fee was $50 and I think I made $60.
Yeah. So plus I haven't, that was my first show of the year. And I really needed to pull everything out and set my tent up because I hadn't done it in almost a year. So,
Wow.
So I
Wow.
just messaged Bonnie to come back to the meeting. So we'll see. I think we hurt her feelings. I mean,
Why? It's just our opinion.
that's right. But well, you know what? She said she's gonna ask at the they have a show directors meeting, I don't know, once a month on Zoom. I used to participate, well, or just listen in. And she's gonna ask, and they're gonna tell her they don't care about stuff like that.
Yeah, why should they? Although I do have a door, I have a door in the middle of mine because I got tired of walking half a block around, or to get to the back, because I had a booth that was self-contained for a long time. Or the person next to me, you have to intrude on them, and
Bonnie
they're
just
always
messaged
nice.
me back. She's too pissed to come back.
Oh, come on, Bonnie, come on. She's too pissed.
Message her on Facebook.
I can't. I've been banned. I've been kicked off of Facebook. I've been my site still has been stolen. And I never went back.
That's because you're too lazy to get it back on it.
Oh no, I've tried it. I've tried it hours and hours. I've tried.
Diego Garcia.
So I could use that name.
Well,
How
no,
about
he
Diego?
already is using that name because he got thrown off Facebook.
Who?
It was an artist from the West Coast. He always posts, bizarre things. And so they threw him off Facebook. So he came back under the name Diego Garcia.
That's a Navy base that generally you don't want to go to.
What?
That's the name of a Navy base. It's a little island in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Oh.
And there's the Navy base and about 40 goats. And at least while I was in, women were not allowed on the island.
That's pretty absurd.
Because the men were there for 6 months at a time with no female company. So when mixed cruise ships docked there, women had to stay aboard.
Wow.
Well, I just ordered about $80 worth of electrical cable to basically put in a wiring harness for my booth, so I'm tired of running extension cords everywhere.
You know, quite honest with you, the best thing that I did this year was to put the marine batteries down and just use the work lights from Ryobi. So it's a lot easier to zip tie those 5 lights up and change the batteries when you need to change them. And it's you fill up a small thing with batteries, 6 amp, 4 amps, and that should last you for the whole weekend. And it's lighter and easier to handle. These are the things I try to make my life easier. Just a suggestion. Now, if you want to go fancy, you can buy the DeWalls or the Milwaukee and spend more money, but that's about it.
Oscar, you're probably going to really enjoy those big Trump signs welcoming Trump to Milwaukee. The billboards are huge.
I didn't saw anything going that way. I was there 2 weeks ago.
You didn't see any?
Make sure you have your blue paintball gun ready.
On
I got-
94 between Milwaukee and Madison, there were 2 huge billboards.
Going west, I can see that, but going from Chicago to Milwaukee, maybe I saw one, but I didn't pay too much attention.
It
I did-
surprised me.
I just want to see that stuff. We go like, come on, it's been 2 years. You know, I don't want to see anything with Biden or Trump hanging outside. You know, that happens every 4 years. Done over with that. So, hey, I did Port Clinton this weekend, and it was kind of interesting. Saturday there was a lot of people buying, and then Sunday was no energy in that show. But it was nice to do the show. It was everything went smoothly,
No, that's good.
you know. But
What's coming up this weekend?
this weekend I got Third War. I also know that what
Isn't
else?
it Arts, Beats, and Eats in Sausalito?
So I don't think Sausalito is going on. So Hard Beats and Eats,
And
And
St.
Long's
Louis?
Park.
Long's Park. You got Lake Forest in here. You got 4th Street in Indiana. Third War with 8 Milwaukee. Those are the 5 that I know for sure.
Okay. And then the following weekend, the only one
That's
I
St.
know
Louis.
is the show in Pittsburgh, Fair in the Park.
and St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis is in September.
Yeah,
Second
it's
weekend. Yeah.
It's not this weekend, it's the weekend after, I
Right.
think.
No,
One of the
it
two.
would be 2 weeks. No, the weekend after, right?
Yeah.
The weekend.
And then the weekend after that is Kansas City.
2 weeks after that.
2 weeks.
Somebody told me to try Peoria, and I might give it a shot next year to see what happens. If I can get in. You never know in these days. Man, it's nice outside today.
A little warm.
I think it's like
Having an excessive heat warning from this morning until Sunday at least. So
70 degrees in Chicago right now.
Perfect.
And I'm waiting for my next job. And tomorrow I get a day. Tomorrow got one job in the morning. I'm taking the rest of the week off to the show.
So I guess we won't see Bonnie again until next week.
I
Maybe.
guess.
If she's not still pissed.
Oh, come on. No, but I agree with you. You have to do whatever you have to do to get into the show.
As long as it's not hurting anybody else.
Yeah. So and it's just like you try to play by the rules, but then I start seeing
Yeah, but
I just compare myself to other photographers' booths, and then I see the booth and the shows, jury shows that I get to see them. Then I see them in person and go like, that doesn't even look any close to what it is, you know.
Exactly. I know.
It's like what the hell?
I know. How'd that get in?
Yeah, that's my reaction all the time. How you got in with that, you know? Well,
Well, the thing is, there was just that incident of the lady getting in with somebody else's pictures.
But that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Well,
No.
That was a couple.
well, but she's still getting into shows though.
yeah,
Really?
but
Well, there are shows and then there are shows.
no, she was getting to really good shows this
Yeah.
year. You know,
like Bonnie said, that kept out somebody who, was submitting
Yeah.
their own work and were good, but she took the best of the best and said that was me, and that was not true.
I just thought of something. I wasn't implying with Bonnie that you should cheat and use somebody else's work or do anything. I was just referring to minor improvements, like improving your own piece in Photoshop or enhancing it in some way, not majorly, but somewhat. And take, I wasn't talking about real fraud.
But Bonnie considers what you just said real fraud.
A lot of people do. It's
I know.
eye rolling as far as I'm concerned.
I know.
I had to Photoshop a couple of pieces because the reflection was really bad.
Well,
Yeah.
you should be dropping the pieces in on top of it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, so that's not,
That's cheating.
no, it's not.
According to Bonnie, that would be cheating.
No, it isn't. I'll bet you she
Okay.
wouldn't say that.
I
I mean,
just think,
shooting the piece and then putting it on a different background and enhancing the
No,
piece. with
no,
light?
taking the
No.
same piece,
Yeah.
dropping in a picture on top of it so there are no reflections.
I would be very curious to hear where Bonnie draws lines.
I mean, I've done that for years.
yeah, because you don't have no shows with the metal prints. You can even
Good thing she didn't hear you say that, Larry. She might never come back.
Or
You
she
know-
might never let me in a show again.
no, there's one more image I need to fix in there, but I need to have to work on it in Photoshop before I can put it in there because it's a different format. So we'll see.
See, getting pissed and hanging up is one thing. I respect getting pissed and stating your case, and you can do it as
But
obnoxiously
she's
as you
stating her
want.
case. And she's always had a problem with how much I push the limits in Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah, but you listen, you're not the only one. It's like,
Yeah.
keep up with the technology or, stay at home. It's just a fact. It's just a fact of our life. It isn't like, if you don't do it, the rest are going to, and they do it. It's no big deal. And if they didn't want it, then directors should just say slides. No more online, no more Zapplication, just slides. You can't manipulate slides.
Oh,
Sure
yes,
you
you
could.
can.
Actually, I knew people that did that back in the slide days. They would have the slide scanned and then made back into a slide again.
Yeah. You can do that.
You know, I mean, you could take an iPhone photo, play with it all
Yeah.
you want, and then make a slide out of it now.
Yeah, that's true. I think people do that.
Yeah, there's an app for that now.
You know, I just hope that the people that are judging it are looking beyond that and only looking at the work. And I realize that that's not the way it is. That's very naive. But that's
Yeah.
what I want. That's what I wish. It's only
I
about the work.
What it should be is like you submit your work, 4 or 5 images for jury process, and then the booth shot is for you process the jury process, and then the booth shot is for the director to look at it and see yes or no to how it looks in the show.
That's
I
right.
agree.
It's
I
used
agree.
for size and presentation.
I
Yeah,
agree. That's all it should be.
it should not be.
You shouldn't be juried
Or-
on your booth picture.
I
Yeah.
know. I agree. I agree. I
I've-
thought that from the first minute.
I've heard lots of people, artists that have been jurors, say that the booth shot is secondary to everything else. They look at it to see if the artist has a competent booth and it's not full of junk. And, you know, it's not usually a determining factor unless it's just horrible.
But
Yeah,
you know,
said artists that are jury. If it comes from another medium or they're architects or they're designers, they have a different thought process on that, I think.
I also
Yeah.
heard Kurt, that the jury booth can determine if you're going to get in or not if you in the second round or third round of a show. Or some people even say to me that it carries up to 50% of your scoring points in some shows. You know, that's why so many people are putting so much effort into having a good booth shot now. If the booth shot
Yeah.
didn't mean much, why we have it then? You know, there's no need to have it. If the booth shot doesn't
I'm
come
good
from,
with that too.
you don't have a booth shot, so you don't need to submit a booth shot. That's always been my thinking. But I don't know, you know. I might be the minority in all this thing, and you know, I might be the one.
You know, there's another thing to this. They're looking at the work, and if they've been around, they know who they're looking at. You during slides, during images, you know whose work it is. You know, and then do I like the person personally or not? It might not be. You might say, well, I'm not thinking about that, but it's got to enter into it. You know, if it's somebody that you don't like, it's or somebody you really like, or it's your friend. You know,
If you
how do you?
friend or it's a friend of yours, you're going to say yes no matter what.
I know, I agree.
You know.
I just don't. I mean, I put together my booth the way it's going to look at the show. And, you know, I don't stress out over it. I'll set it up in my backyard because I've tried doing it at shows. And one of the things I have on the front of my booth is, you know, a photograph with my name in it. So if I don't I can set up without that, and I just set everything else up in my yard, and it's, you know, shoot it, go look at it on the computer, and, you know, go back and tweak it, and
You know,
it's not a huge deal.
you know how this can be solved?
Your Photoshop.
No, it's really easy. Every time you submit a booth picture, you need to include part of your neighbor's booth in the picture.
What is that going to do besides be a distraction?
It'll prove that you shot the picture at a show.
Oh,
It won't
okay.
prove you didn't Photoshop it, though.
Now,
Hey, I left a sign and I took a booth shot and I wasn't thinking, and I left a sign with my name on it, and it got removed through Photoshop. very nicely.
Uh, I'm sorry, I am an old school photographer. If I can get it right when I press the shutter, I don't want to have to go back in and jack around in Photoshop. I'd rather get it right when I hit the shutter.
I
Yeah,
agree
but
with you.
You're not shooting in black and white. You're converting it to black and white, right?
Yeah.
So that's using Photoshop.
Yeah. How come you
Well,
don't shoot in black and white? How come you
I'm-
don't use film?
It's not. No, you're missed the point. I don't care. I don't
No,
care
didn't.
what.
I'm looking for something to pick on.
And I'm laughing. I'm making jokes.
All right.
I mean, I know what you're saying.
I don't want to have to go back in and retouch crap because
Yeah,
I
but
didn't get it
don't-
right
but
when I hit the
don't you-
shutter.
But don't you
Hey,
don't you play with your exposure because you don't want your whites blown out?
My workflow for my art is I shoot it in color. It comes into Lightroom. I make adjustments in Lightroom to get everything, the color looking good, everything looking good, goes into Photoshop, gets a conversion, and then I do a small curves layer tweak to it, and that's it.
I've read that you shouldn't use Lightroom at all. You should be using Bridge, which is built into Photoshop.
It's all the same engine, it doesn't matter.
No, it's not. There's a difference. In Bridge, you can go in and you can take noise out completely in your raw processing. You can't do that in Lightroom.
Okay.
He has a point.
There's a Facebook group I follow that the guy he answers everybody's questions. He does jobs on the side for people, but he teaches classes in different Photoshop techniques. And he hates Lightroom because you can't do your raw processing completely in Lightroom, but you can in Bridge.
You can in Bridge. Bridge is going to use the same Adobe Camera Raw that Photoshop uses.
It's not the camera raw. It's the settings to eliminate noise.
Okay.
I'll send you a link to his Facebook group. It's really interesting, and you should look at his website. He has tutorials on a ton of stuff.
I'm gonna say goodbye this week. I'll see y'all next week.
Well, we can't say it hasn't been fun, Frank.
is it 5 already?
No,
No, it's not. So long.
Let's see you, Frank.
No, the problem I have with Lightroom is Lightroom messes with the black and white horribly.
I use what do you call it? The Nik Collection
Yeah, don't do that either.
for black and white conversion.
Yeah, don't do that either.
I like the look of it. There are a couple of different filters that I'll choose from. And the
Will
Nik
it give you a
Collection,
will it give you a 16-bit grayscale file?
it probably will if you start with 16-bit.
My printer wants a 16-bit grayscale file.
I mean, if you go into it in 16-bit, it's not going to convert it to 8-bit.
Some of that I haven't looked at that in a while, but it used to. It would not take a 16-bit file. You had to go to 8-bit.
Oh, okay. Well, the Nik Collection, the older version, which is the same as the new version, is free. So you can download it and then install it into Photoshop. You don't have to pay for it.
I don't. I have my workflow. It's quick, it's smooth, and I like my results. I'm not a tinkerer.
Okay.
It's my printer is extremely particular about the files that I send it. And if you don't send it a good 16-bit grayscale file, it spits out crap.
It gives you banding.
No, I don't get the full tonal range.
Well, that's what banding is. It's an abbreviated tonal range that causes streaks through solid color.
No, what this
Control
is more
areas.
is it shifts the gamma, so you don't get banding. What you do is you lose a bunch of the very subtle shades either in the high end or the low end. And when you try and compensate it, what you do is you kill the other end.
It's like the zone system.
Similar. It just you know, I've got an image from the Fuji that if you look at that print closely compared to the other prints in my booth, there's a night and day difference between the image from the Fuji and the image from, you know, the various Canons and the scanned film. So
Yeah, I miss shooting black and white. I don't miss shooting color. But I'm having fun with all my black and white scans.
yeah, the setup I'm using to print with does not like JPEGs. It does not like 8-bit. It wants a 16-bit grayscale file.
You know, one thing that I noticed with the printer now, with the Epson printer, it likes the quality of prints that I get from a TIFF file is much better than a JPEG file. Like the file that I sent to the lab, if I print that file compared to the TIFF version of the same file, it looks 10 times different. Like I don't even know why. So,
Because
so
your printer's got you've got a wider color gamut on the printer than the lab does.
okay.
Yeah, what color space are you using, Oscar?
I used to urge it, the Adobe RGB.
Yeah, so that shouldn't matter. So
I know
it's
the
if
color
you
looks-
use Lightroom, doesn't it automatically export in ProPhoto?
I use
No,
Photoshop.
you set that. That's one of the settings in Lightroom. You tell it what you want it to export as.
Yeah, I shot 5 quilts for somebody yesterday. And she insisted, besides giving her high quality JPEGs, I give her high quality TIFFs. So she emails me, she's having trouble resizing. She said every time she resizes, they come out looking like postage stamps on her monitor. And that's because she's not adjusting her view to 100% after she resizes down. But she's working from the JPEGs. I said, why are you working from the JPEGs? Why? I gave you the TIFFs. You know, and there's actually no difference. There might be a difference when you're printing, but there's no difference on a monitor.
No, in the monitor you cannot tell the difference. When you print it, you can tell the difference. Like a big time difference.
Every print I've ever had made was printed from a JPEG.
Oh. I just think that you get, for some reason, when I print it from TIFF, you get a more gamma. It looks almost like basically what I'm printing at home match a satin metal print right now.
Yeah, see, I never printed at home.
You know, so it looks exactly the same. So that's what I feel comfortable. Well, guys, I need to go. I got a job at 4 o'clock. I see you guys next week.
All right.
All right,
Big-
Oscar,
Bye,
Bye.
Oscar. Good to see you.
take it easy.
So this has been kind of weird meeting.
For a couple reasons.
Yeah.
I still don't know why Bonnie left. It's weird.
She's
That's weird.
pissed.
Well, so
She couldn't handle the conflict. I mean,
come
it's not a
on.
big deal. It's not a big deal. And I think she's just
hold-
pissed at me overall.
You hold it in, you get an ulcer. She needed to get it out.
Well, I don't know if she feels better. But she got it out.
No, she's holding it in. She left. She's stewing.
Well, I'm curious to know what I should get a link to that show directors meeting next week.
Look at, I want to mention something about that because something that Sharon McAllister brought up that I found to be, I wouldn't say horrifying, but I always loved our process because being a blind jury, that anybody, no matter who they are, can, you're not being judged on your appearance or your ethnicity or your political viewpoint or your, or your racial makeup. It's only always been about the work.
Right.
And when she brought up that something about, she started talking about diversity, it can't get any more diverse. And what is she talking about? And besides, I like it being a blind jury.
She's getting pressure from the powers that be, political.
What powers that be? The artists are the powers that be, and nobody else counts.
No.
Well, I know that's not true.
The show, there's much more in the back end of a show.
Oh, you're talking, and all she has to do is say it's a blind jury, and we play up the, listen.
Now she should do what Jay Downey did.
What did he
Invite
do?
them into the jury room to see how they choose who's in the show.
Well, that's a good, that'll solve the problem. I like it.
Jay did that in Fort Worth.
Years ago, at when they used to do Piedmont Park, the 2 weekends.
The real Piedmont Park.
Yeah, what's his name showed up? Not Jesse Jackson, but another one, another leader showed up and said, maybe it was Jesse Jackson, and said, "Where's all the black artists?" And everybody laughed because it's a blind jury. Where he should answer. I want to ask him, where are all the black artists? How come they're not applying?
Where are all the black politicians?
There's plenty of black politicians in Atlanta.
Yeah,
in the South, there has been. Andrew Young. You can go way back. So my point is, where I like the fact that it's self-motivating. If you want to do it, you do it. Nobody's telling you to do it. Nobody's telling you not to do it. There's no, if you want to do it, you do it. And nobody told me. There's plenty of ways to find out what to do.
Connie had the same issue with Arts, Beats, and Eats.
Yeah.
They wanted more black artists in the show.
Well, why don't those people that want more black artists to do the show go out and tell them
Learn how to
apply?
paint. Learn how to paint. This is back.
Not give them a space, not have a quota, but have them apply.
This is back when I was doing Arts, Beats, and Eats.
Yeah, me too. I was there at the first one, the first few. In Pontiac.
Yeah, I know. My neighbor was Phil Thompson. Remember him?
Vaguely.
He did etchings.
No.
Ballpark. Etchings, ballpark. He specialized in ballpark stadiums.
Drawings.
But he was really
painting.
funny. A really funny guy. And he used to collect banners from shows. That they would hang from streetlights.
Cool. Jan Collins does sports.
I know. I did his
stadiums from
website.
Detroit and different buildings.
Detroit, everything. I did his website.
Yeah. And he's a really nice guy. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, Larry, do you see my lamp up here in the background in the upper corner?
No, I'm not in that speaker view. I'm in the gallery view. So
Would
everybody
that be,
the same size.
would that be over your shoulder, Carl? Court, I mean?
On this side.
Yeah,
That
that's your
light.
left side.
Let
Yes.
me change views. Where are the view? Oh, here's the view. Okay, speaker view. Okay, now I can see it.
See it up there?
No, now I see Barry.
Okay, if I wave and, yell like Barry, will it move to me?
Yeah. Okay, so what's the point?
Do you see what kind of light it is?
Now,
It's an old darkroom light that I took the filter out of and put a high watt bulb in.
oh,
It's an
okay.
old safe light.
Yeah, I used to have those. And what was the timer called?
Gray Lab.
Yeah,
Well, there's Gray Lab and then there's Time-O-Lite.
no, Gray Lab.
That was the big ones.
Yeah.
At one point in college, I didn't have an alarm clock and I had to get up really early. So I used my darkroom timer in my bedroom and I'd have to get up every hour and reset it.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry I got rid of some of that stuff, but I got rid of it so long ago. Like 45 years ago.
I wish I had my enlarger set up. I had a beautiful enlarger set up for black and white.
I had the 23C.
I had that with an Ilford multigrade head on it. So changing contrast was just a push of a button on a console.
Okay. See, I had good lenses. I remember I bought lenses.
Yeah, I think I had all Nikkor lenses.
Yeah, they were the best back then for enlarging.
All right, well, I think I'm going to go. I still have a little bit of work to do today.
Yeah, me too.
Ah,
My pot's behind me, drying out.
well, it's
Yeah, I had to go. I spent time online researching 6-conductor electrical cable.
Sounds like fun.
How many
Oh,
shows
yeah.
a year do you do now, Court?
This year, if I include the show I did last weekend, I'm doing 2. I intentionally took this year off.
Okay,
Cool.
because it's an investment for not enough shows to make it worthwhile.
Next year, I'll be back up to the 6 to 10 I normally do if I can get in.
I miss it.
I had really good luck getting into shows before COVID and after COVID. Horrible luck. So that's why I kind of took the year off. And I'm debating moving to possibly platinum prints. Platinum palladium prints.
And what's the difference?
Platinum palladium prints are handmade. You
Alright.
actually coat the paper with the emulsion yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I would still shoot digital on the printer I've got. I can do digital negatives with.
you mean you put acetate in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
Put a
then you
spe-
can, and then you scan the negative.
no, I put acetate in it and do contact prints.
No, I know. I was just kidding.
Oh. I would have to scan the negatives anyway because I don't. If I shoot with the 4x5, I don't want. I want to do prints bigger than 4x5.
What's the largest size you can scan?
I have all my scanning sent out
Okay.
because I don't have a scanner high enough res to get what I need.
Well, what resolution do you need?
The printer minimum I like to give it is 300 pixels per inch
Right,
at the finished size.
right, okay. Did you ever look into the Epson 10,000 or 11,000 or 12,000?
That'll be my next printer.
Yeah, no, scanner.
No, I've never been a big fan of the scanning stuff myself.
Okay, because I haven't, I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scanners here. But I have an Epson 10,000 XL. And it can scan up to 14 by 19. And I bought a transparency adapter for it.
I've got a Canon. I just have to dig out and it would probably do okay on the 4x5s. But I need to dig out all the film holders for it.
Yeah. That's one thing I was good at keeping track of. I have a print box with film holders for all my scanners up on the shelf.
So I get the next big investment I'm going to have to make is they're doing end of life on the inks that I use, and I've got to switch to a different ink set. But that means I've got to switch all the inks in the printer, which is not cheap. But it means I won't be able to say I'm using custom mixed inks anymore.
What do you mean? You mean in your artist statement?
Yeah,
Do people know what that means?
it sounds good.
No, it doesn't.
I know.
When
That's
you're a
funny.
photographer,
Sounds
little
like
things
you're
like that.
wasting characters.
You know, when it comes to the longer artist statements and things like that, yeah, it makes a difference. Especially when people have biases against digital and they think all you're doing is just pushing buttons and prints magically appear printed and framed.
But that's how
People still have that? People still feel that way?
Oh yeah.
No.
But everything's digital. There's very few dinosaurs around doing everything
And
with
I mean, the dinosaur, they're still
cameras.
dinosaurs. There's I'm on this a local photography group, Facebook group, and they still shoot film and develop it. But
great.
but their images are not, they're not competitive to sell. I think they're just having fun.
You know, I have about every, I don't know, say 15 to 20 shows, about every other year. Somebody walks into my booth, asks if it's film or digital. I say digital, and they turn and walk out.
Seems to me those are the customers you want because
So-
they're they're looking for the best quality and originality.
Hey, I got one for you, Court. I had a guy once ask me where I get my prints made. And I told him Costco's. And he said, that's really smart. They make great prints, and he bought one from me.
Was that true?
Yeah.
Well, the Fuji Frontier changed the whole lab industry.
Yeah, and they developed what do you call it? They scanned slides for 19 cents a scan.
They were probably using the old Kodak photo CD system.
No, they weren't. Um, and you know something? Speaking of the old Kodak photo CDs, I bought software to open all my old photo CDs. And I found that even though I wasn't paying for the pro quality scans, that was still there on the CD.
Yeah, the system was totally automated. I used to run one.
So that those scans were still embedded in the CD. I just
Yeah.
needed software to bring it out. That was really cool. I'm really happy I did that.
I think the funniest thing I ever saw was a young lady who was working the counter, and guy came in, an artist guy came in with a bunch of nudes that he wanted scanned. And she got all kinds of red.
Yeah.
He was an art student somewhere. That was when we were in the house at across the street from big photo lab in Kansas City. Big portrait lab.
Yeah, the other one is you had to sign a release if you had pictures of famous people and they were photographs that you took. Otherwise, they weren't allowed to print them. And because there must have been some lawsuits about that.
Probably. Well, a lot of places, if the images look professional,
Yeah,
you had to sign a release.
right. I have a printable release on my website for anybody that I've given them pictures of their artwork that they need to get prints made if they're challenged.
Yeah, it's
So I'm surprised Annette and Katie are still here. They must be bored.
I'm bored. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But
We're talking
I'm being-
pottery.
I'm being polite.
We're talking.
would you rather
I'm
we talk
listening.
about cone 7 glazes as opposed to cone 10 glazes?
No, but listen, I do want to talk about the latest. There's a new video out from Playing for Change. Playing for Change is one of my favorite websites of all time. If you know what it is.
No, but it sounds like busking.
Well, actually, what it is how it got started. And we can relate to this. That was the attraction. Yes, it was street musicians. Okay,
Yep.
but they were really good, and somebody decided to start recording them, and doing specific songs, and they would record them all over the world. It was about peace for change, music through peace. That's kind of their thing. And then they started piecing them together like
I've
to do a
seen those.
complete
I've
song.
seen. Yeah, I've seen those videos.
Yeah, I think they're great. And
Yeah.
so there was a new one today. And today's video was still haven't found what I'm looking for, and they recorded people all over the world, and because of the success of it, it's gotten the higher production values. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, I was
It's a
watching.
reminder. See, it's a reminder that street musicians are really good, much like we're street artists, and we're really good. So to me, I can relate to it. We're the art version of the music, except that we can't record our songs, our pieces, for
Except
people to
that
listen to.
we're not as high up on the food chain as musicians with art shows.
Yeah, I know it's a drag, even though the quality of what we do is the same. We're just as good in our mediums.
I know, but we're not
I think.
promoted as much as they promote the live music.
And people can relate. People can relate to the music. It's hard to relate to sometimes what we do. So,
All right, well, I'm gonna take off. I got Mr. Gray has something stuck in his neck. I gotta figure out what it is and take it out.
The
All right.
cat.
Good seeing you, Court.
Yeah, well, I didn't work today, so I was awake.
Hey, I've been sleeping during the day a lot myself, so
Well, I work part-time at a Target store and go to work at, I get up at 4 and I work at 5:30, so now then when I get home at 9:30, 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, I'm kind of beat, so I eat and take a nap in the middle of the afternoon. Get up so I can cook dinner and drink again. So, if you got questions, we do it every other Tuesday night. Larry, I'll send you a link if you want.
Yeah, it's not tonight,
yeah,
next
I
Tuesday.
want to see Jim. I want to see Jim Parker. I can't do it tonight anyway. So
Yeah, it's next Tuesday. Parker's out of town, was out of town last week. He's up, his family, he's from South Dakota, I think.
is he?
Somewhere out there.
Yeah, and his family still owns land. His mom's still alive, so he goes out to see his mom every, couple months. So that's where he is. And he's out doing some hiking and photography, I think. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, I see the pictures on Facebook, but Barry can't.
Yeah, I'll work it out sooner or later. But you know what? I like not being on Facebook. It's just a big scam, and it's out there for your information to be taken by data miners.
Yeah. We'll see everybody later.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, Court. Well, it's 10 after 5. I guess. Not in
That's after
California.
2.
Right. Not in California. Not West Coast time. So we'll see you all next week.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
All right.
That
Bye.
was fun. Get Bonnie to come back. We may never see Bonnie again.
I don't know. I think Bonnie's, because she hasn't been well, she's more touchy than she normally is.
Oh well, what can you do?
All right.
See, you know what, Larry? It's a Jewish thing to sit there and yell at each other and tell them, what you're crazy, what you think is nuts. And then you go out and have a corned beef sandwich or something. It's not, nobody takes it personally. It's
Right.
it's tradition. It goes back to the Talmud, and and I don't do this, but there are Jews that get together, they have Talmud class, and they do these same things. They yell it, it goes back and forth, and they discuss these things. And this is, it's cultural. These people that can't raise your voice. That's nonsense. Come on. It's not personal.
I know. But I know she has a problem with me.
With you? I thought the problem was with me.
No, the problem is with me and what
you do.
Yeah, and what I tell artists, which is
Hey,
legitimate.
I couldn't be any more grateful than what you did to my my booth shot. I mean, it was fantastic. It didn't take long. You just did it. It's a little thing, right?
Yeah. I don't think she would be upset at that.
And here's the thing. It's something I said earlier. You got these judges, especially if they're artists. They know what they're looking at. When I judge a show, I know half the people. I know what I'm looking at. So what do? If it's your friend, are you sensitive? You have to let them in because they'll never talk to you again, or it's a dilemma.
That's why that's why I can't jury a show.
Yeah, because for you probably taken their photographs,
Right?
their
Right.
images,
Or worked on their images. Yeah.
yeah. So you can't. So that's a dilemma, because you can't reject them because that says something about the quality of your work. So that's
all right.
All right. My point is that it's it's not cheating. It's just,
I know.
it's not, you know?
Anything that doesn't harm anybody else is fair game.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
all
I'll
right.
see you
I'll see
later. All right.
All right. Bye.
It was still fun.
Yeah, I know.
We're both laughing here because the way it worked out. It's like, yeah.
All
All right.
Oh, and we're both gonna have to deal with it next week.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
All right. Bye, Barry.